Anybody here? Hey, Ann. Good morning. Hi, Miss Ann Holmes. How are you? How are you doing this morning? Oh, hello. Monday morning check-in. Is anybody else out there? Good morning. Good morning, people. I can't wait to tell you what happened to me over the weekend. Crazy. So, Ann says she's good. She's working, enjoying coffee. Girl, I am good. I'm getting ready to sit down to work and enjoying my coffee. So, gosh, I'm tired. Vicki, good morning, Vicki. How are you this morning? You joined me and Ann. I hope Ann is still around. I was just saying to Ann that I had the craziest weekend. So, first off, good morning, Rachel. Good morning. I think I told you guys last week that I was going to try to pop on here on Mondays. The lighting in this old apartment is not good. Like, it's so dark, and I'm like night blind anyways, like legally night blind, so I have to wear glasses. I can't even wear contacts. So at night I'm like, so I told Eddie, because there's no ceiling lights in the apartment. So I said, we have got to get more lighting. It's wearing me out. I can't see. But I slept hard last night. Crazy, crazy weekend. So, so you guys know that Vicki said that she is doing good. Good morning, Rachel. How are you? I'm doing fine. So interestingly enough, you guys know that I had coronavirus back in December. So I don't necessarily know if you could get it again or not. Trust me, you don't want to get it if you've not had it. I mean, I literally thought I was dying. Like, I literally was like, I'm dying here, Eddie. And I was so sick. You guys remember those 14 days? So anyways, what happened was that my niece, she lives in an apartment, and you know these kids that are 21, 22, and my son as well, one of my kids is 21, they aren't social distancing, you know. So here in Kentucky, everything has opened like really slow. And so they had opened up, of course, now the bars with limited, you know, bar seating and that kind of thing. So my niece, although she's been staying at home with my sister and her husband, she did go down back to Lexington to her apartment. And so one of her roommates has been staying in Lexington this entire time. And she, of course, 21, not social distancing. And she last week came up, well, so Saturday morning she went to the doctor on 4th of July, which we drove to Lexington on 4th of July morning, which is where I'm from, Nicholasville. And we helped my sister and my brother-in-law move my nephew in to his apartment because right now everybody's switching over the semester that live in apartments. But my nephew is in Montana working for the summer. And so he wasn't here to help move his stuff in because they had to move out of his one apartment to the new apartment. So we went down to help out my sister and then also stay at my parents'. So in the meantime, you know, I took Rowena down, who hates the apartment. She rarely comes out from underneath the bed, which has got me sick to my stomach. And I know it's a sign of like depression because I've been watching it. But anyway, so I took her to my parents, who she loves being there. It's comfortable. She knows it. So I take her there, and then we decide, we follow my sister and my brother-in-law up from my parents' house over to his apartment on UK's campus and move him in. And so my mom and I had ordered Texas Roadhouse for 4th of July supper, which supper, I don't know, in the South means your dinner. Now, dinner is lunch. Like if at noon, I was like, oh, I'm eating dinner. So that's like lunch to most people. But where I'm from, we say dinner and supper. Well, anyways, so what happened was that we get Ben's stuff moved in, and Texas Roadhouse, guys, I did not know this, but you could get like 4 strip steaks, 4 baked potatoes, a big thing of salad and rolls for $40, but it's not cooked. So you bring it home and you cook it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like a steal, because I had just gotten Eddie and I a couple of steaks to grill out at the camper. And it was like $40 for 2 steaks. So, and that was from the grocery store. So anyways, I did not know that they did that. So my mom was supposed to pick it up at 4. And so I said, oh, well, let's call and see if we can pick it up. We'll go by, get us a McDonald's Diet Coke, and she gets iced tea. And then we'll go to pick up the Texas Roadhouse. And we had to go stop by also the grocery store, because my dad, he has false teeth, so he can't eat steak. So he likes hamburgers. So we got him a fresh made hamburger from the grocery. So we go to the grocery store, and then we pick up, like, of course, while we're there, a couple of things of milk, some ice cream for dessert. And so also at Texas Roadhouse for the $40, I also got a jug of margarita mix, or margaritas. They're already made up. They're in a jug. So we are in my little Fiat. So we go to do all our errands, and my sister calls, and she says, where are you? And I said, oh, we're over here at Logan's, not Logan's, but Texas Roadhouse on Harrodsburg Road. And she said, well, you need to hop on Circle 4, which is the New Circle Road, and you need to go over to the Lexington Clinic, because Maddie's roommate has been diagnosed as having COVID. And I'm like, okay, I've already had COVID, but can I get it again? And so I'm like, wait, what? And she's like, yeah. And of course, I've been around my niece a ton, and my niece was around her. So my niece also stays with my parents sometimes in Lexington, who, you know, my dad has had 8 bypasses. He's got stents. 8 bypasses. He's had a balloon, stents. This is all in his heart. He has stents in his kidneys, diabetes, neuropathy. He's just got a slew of issues. But he's fairly, not healthy. He's healthy. He's fine. But, you know, he still has these slew of issues. So we don't want him getting COVID. But if my niece's roommate had it, she's been around my parents. I've been around them. I took Austin to, a week ago to Atlanta. Austin could be infected. And then, of course, I've been around my sister and my brother-in-law. And so she's like, my sister's like, so we need to drive over to Lexington. They're giving free testing. And I'm like, oh, my God. So she's like, and I am here. And Daddy's like, he'll wait for Mom. And your husband, Eddie, said he's going to wait for you. And I said, you just tell them that we're already over here to get in the car and to follow us up there. So remember, we have all those cold groceries in the back. So we get there, and luckily, we picked up our meat or our food from Texas Roadhouse early. So we get there, and so Mom and I get out, and we have our masks on, and there's a row of cars. I'm talking like 20 cars lined up in the parking lot. Everybody's in their car. And so I'm like, okay, this is odd. So we get to the door of the Lexington Clinic, and it says, call this number for the COVID test. So we get back in our car, and we call the number. And she said, "Are you here?" And I said, "Yes, I have, 4 other people coming. There's a total of 6 of us that need to get tested." And she's like, "Well, whoever's here, I'm going to send, what's your name, date of birth, and your cell phone number, because then they send the link to fill out the form, and you wait in your car, and then they come and get you." And so I'm like, okay, but I didn't say, I already had COVID. I tested positive for the antibodies. I was on my deathbed. But I just said, okay. So it took 2 hours for them to get to. So in the meantime, my sister pulls in with her husband, and then my dad and Eddie pull in. So we're all 3 like lined up together. I have a picture of it. It's hysterical, which of course I'll put in the newsletter tomorrow. But anyway, so we are all lined up, and 2 hours later, it's our turn, and it's a rapid test. And it's actually 98% accurate, because I read all the information while I sat in the car for 2 hours with the groceries. So we were there, and it was crazy. But of course, we all tested negative. So then my niece comes down, because she was still in Northern Kentucky, because they also live here. So she drove down yesterday to get the rapid test, because Northern Kentucky doesn't have the test. We don't have the test up here. So that was last week. And another thing, so that was crazy over the weekend. So then we get home like 5 o'clock. We enjoy the rest of our evening, had gorgeous fireworks. Friday night, Eddie and I went to the camper, and we were so excited because we have, cleared all that land to see the river and where the house is going to sit, which hopefully we'll have those final plans this week so the builder can get started. But anyways, and so what happened was that we watched fireworks. The Reds, because we're right across from Cincinnati at Riverbend in the new property. So so here's an interesting picture. So a girlfriend of mine, she has a boat, and so she went down on the boat to watch the fireworks. And she sent me a picture, and she's like, "I spy you up there somewhere. I'll show you where my property is." So she sends me this picture of her on the river. That's looking at the Ohio. That's looking at the Kentucky side from her boat. And I literally own, this is where I live, or this is where I'm moving. So all of this is what we bought. And our house is like right in the middle. So that is, so when people say, "Where did you move?" I'm like, I moved to the Ohio Valley. So that is kind of what it looks like. And it looks like that way from our property too. Like we can see upriver. But anyways, Riverbend Music Center and Coney Island in Cincinnati are right across from that property, our property. And the Reds put on a fireworks show on Friday night. So Eddie and I grilled out up there over Friday night, and we watched the fireworks. It was really cool. So it was like the first time I was like, wow, this is kind of cool. We'll have to have people up here next year. So I did get news from my builder last week that it's only going to take him 4 months to build the house. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. But also, I also had a physical last week at my doctor's office, and she's located in the hospital. So of course, before I went in the hospital, I had my mask, and then they take your temperature, and then they put a thing on you about that. So that was also something that happened last week that was crazy. And another thing I did last week for the first time was go back into the Jazzercise studio. So we got our exercise opened up last week. In Kentucky, we haven't had a real big rise like some of these states have. So last week we were able to reserve a spot. There's only 8 spots a class, and they also have been doing them on Facebook on our Jazzercise page. And so that was kind of interesting because they're like, okay, there's going to be no mats, no laying on the ground, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. So I sign up, I go, and I walk in and I pluck a pair of weights off of the weight bench because we use weights, hand weights. And they're like, you're not supposed to pick those up, Tanya. And I'm like, oh, I didn't read that. And they're like, you just keep them and take them home with you. I'm like, okay. So now I got some weights. But that was the hardest thing with exercise and COVID is that even though they still did the exercise on Jazzercise and you can do it at home, like I couldn't find weights, like hand weights. So I was using, like, you couldn't buy them online. They were out. And so I was using like soup cans and crazy things like that. But I mean, I think that was like had to be the number one thing outside of toilet paper and wipes and sanitizer that people were buying up were weights for their house. At least I couldn't get any. I mean, I looked everywhere. So that was our crazy COVID thing. So every Monday morning, I thought I would come to you guys. I'm not and just have a little chit chat, see what's going on. So let's look back, see who all's here. Um, let's see. Good morning, Meryl. How are you? Thank you for the lovely review on A Charming Deception. I loved it. Thank you. Oh, it's a new place. She's freaked out. So if anybody's watching now, I said earlier that Rowena hates the apartment. And so also what happened was I've been going to the Champer every day to write for 4 hours, and there's yet to be electric up there. They were supposed to put in the electric on Thursday. So Eddie did the electric, like he put in the electric. You know, Eddie owns an he's an electrician. So they put the meter in, and so Eddie did all that. And he has and I pulled the wires for him, and he put in 3 separate type of meters that are going to feed 3 separate things on the property. So what happened was that, so I helped pull the wire, and the inspector came and gave the clearance for Duke, our energy company, to wire it up the post so all the electric would get put in. And so they were supposed to be there on Thursday and didn't come because we were hoping to get the aeration to the pond and then to get permanent electric to the camper so I can take Rowena, because on days like this it's just too hot to take her up there, because I sit outside under the good shady tree, but I'm not going to have her sit outside. I don't want mosquitoes to get her. So she just so she's been here by herself a little bit for those 4 hours, and then when I come home it's like 12, and so I eat lunch and she hangs out. So this week I decided, since she hates it, that I'm going to be I'll sit here this week and write. It's not that it's the most you can see my little Fiat right here, right there, but being in the apartment is not the most creative, so I wonder how I'm going to do writing. Hopefully I'll do well. I don't know. We'll see. So I'm just going to kind of hang out with her this week here at the apartment, see what's going on with that. So yeah, so Meryl said that it's new. Yeah, and she is freaked out. I know, it's breaking my heart. Hey, Monica, if you're still on here. Rachel Collins said that she had COVID in December as well. It was miserable. Yes, Rachel. I mean, literally, I thought I was dying. For 14 days, I had that goofy fever and no taste, no smell. No, I had all that skin sensitivity. The emergency room went twice. They said that I had flu B because I didn't test positive for flu A. And I'm like, Lord B, if whatever flu B, it's rough. I don't know what flu A is, but golly, GB, I don't want it. Terrible. So if you're just joining me, I ended up having another COVID test on Saturday because we were exposed again. Norma Carroll said she made it. Oh, honey, you can come anytime. It's always going to be up. Julie Stallworth says, good morning. Good morning, Lori Hickey. It's going to be it's going to be a hot day here too. It's going to be hot here for like the next 3 weeks. So I'm hoping that the camper will get some permanent electric to it. I mean, I do have a generator hooked up to it, but it's, it's hard to run that all day long. Monica said she had a dark apartment like this. I hate it. I mean, look how dark it is. I mean, that's the only light that we have in this room, except I have this one right here that's like blaring down on me, and then I have the kitchen. But I'm like, this is wearing me out. It'll be fine though. I do go sit on our little patio. See, I have chairs. Whoop. I don't know how to do this. That right there. Over there. I have some chairs out there There's Rowena's stand, because in the morning when I get up at 5, which yeah, I get up at 5. That's why there's bags under the eyes. I pull her little tree and I open it up, and I have all the door open so she can sit up there and get fresh air. But yeah, even with the big glass door, the wall just makes it so dark. Hey, keeping the lights on all day, even though it was nice outside. Yeah, I feel the same way, Monica, but the new house is going to be worth it. I cannot wait for the new house. Happy Monday, Connie Edwards. I'm so glad you're here. Yeah, Rowena is under the bed. Not going to make an appearance today. She hates it here. She has hated it here. I have found her in the strangest of places in this place. Let's see. Normal care. She's Norma Carroll is supposed to be writing. Apparently Norma writes. That's cool. Yeah, Norma, I don't know about you, but if you're a writer, when I write for my 4 hours, I do writing sprints and I turn off all the internet. So I don't even keep my phone on. So maybe that's what you should be doing. Julie Stallworth, listen to a generator is probably not good for creativity either. You know, Julie, it doesn't really bother me any. It's kind of like a white noise. And so it just kind of, you know, so really it doesn't. But once I get into the writing groove, it's great. But really my outdoor and my camper is what really drives my creativity or just puts me in the zone. So I really just kind of zone out. Norma said that she gets up at 5 as well. Yeah, I get up at 5 only because my husband gets up at 5 and he leaves for work at 5:30. And Rowena has an automatic cat feeder and it goes off at 5 a.m. So I hear it go, and she's gotten this weirdo thing now. If I'm not standing next to her, she doesn't eat. This whole move thing has disrupted her completely. Anyways, guys, I hope that you have a great day. I'm going to head off here. And don't forget that, oh, also there's a giveaway. We hit over 1,000 crew members. Can you believe that? Oh. So what we're going to do is if you invited someone to join the page, make sure that you comment on that pin. There's an announcement post. So look through the announcements. And if you invited someone, then make sure that you tag who you invited if they joined on that post, because I'm going to pick a winner for a mystery prize pack. And also we have book club. Let me look at my calendar. We have book club All She Wrote this week on Thursday. And then on Wednesday morning, I will be over at the author page doing my Wednesday reader question of the week. And let's see what else is going on. Other than that, I think that is it so far. I'm sure there's a lot more going on. I just can't think of it right now. So anyways, y'all, I will talk to y'all later. I hope you have a great day. Ann says that I get up earlier than 5 so I can work out and enjoy the quiet. Oh, I'm sure. Are all those little babies yours in your picture? I love it. Monica, have a great day. Happy writing. Congratulations on the 1,000. That's so fun. Ann Holmes, you have a great day too. I love all y'all. I wish we could just sit here and talk all day. But I got to get the words written. 4,000, 5,000 words. Here I come. Bye, y'all.